You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds is hosted by DJ Benhameen and Tatiana Jones. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Welcome to the Fan Bros, the show where the bros are fans. Doodle.
And what's up, y'all? And welcome to this very extremely special edition of the For All Nerds Show. We are live on twitch.tv/forallnerds with the podcast that describes and expresses geek culture from the perspective of people of color. And as always, sitting in the captain's chair, it's your boy, DJ Benhameen. Keep that same energy on when you see me, Patrick Swaley, Premium Peter Parker, A Baby Max, Buzz out here, Big Dick Grayson Energy, Black Goliath, YOLO Baggins, Lando Californication, here, live in the spaceship. And as always, I'm joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Sean Jean-Luc Picard, Flex Luthor, Lambo Calrissian, Baptist Ameriba, Doc Aki, coldest winter soldier ever, the Book of Ashanti, Tatiana Kang, the Conqueror, the Ting of the North, Mulatto Hightower, Lord Lionel Strong, Coogee Chagalia, down to the socks, and I'm dreaming of a Walter Wright Christmas, and we are here almost at the end of 2022. Can you believe it, Benhameen?
Can you believe it? And after all these years, it looks like and sounds like we are good to go. We are live here on twitch.tv/forallnerds. I just checked it for a second. It seems to be sounding and looking good. But if you're in the chat right now, hit us up. We might even answer your questions, whatever. It's an end of the year show. This is probably going to be the last episode of 2022. I'm not sure.
Benhameen said, I ain't gonna be here.
I ain't gonna be here. I don't know. We gonna see, we gonna figure it out. But as of now, this might be it. We'll see what happens.
We'll see. We'll see. It's just a lot going on, as you can imagine. We got bomb cyclones running across the country right now. So it's like, if you're trying to travel, a bomb cyclone. You know what that is?
I missed that. No.
It's basically like one of the worst winter weather patterns that can ever happen. And it's random as fuck. So you fighting on the weather, you're fighting with the travel. Like, if you were trying to get to Christmas, you should have left your house 2 days ago to get to the airport because you're not going to make it. Like, it's just a lot to deal with. So, like I said, I don't know. I think we got to focus in on that and make sure we focus in on our mental health before we try to make a lot of shows. But, we're crazy. So we might just do stuff anyway. We do it for the love.
Yeah, because it don't look like I'm doing much traveling around these holidays. I'm going to have to see my family right after the holidays because I was not, dealing with all that stress and everything, going through all that. I was not feeling it. So, yeah, I'm going to be traveling after the holidays a lot. As I said before, I actually got my ticket. So I will be at MagFest first weekend of January. Make sure you holler at me if you're down there. I've never been. My man Mellow Marketers to be out there with me. But I don't know nothing about it. I know it's a 24-hour bonanza. I'm learning this.
It's honestly like the Twilight Zone there because it's 24 hours. Like, years ago, we actually had a panel there and I represented for us. I don't even know if you remember, but I represented for us. And it was actually really well attended. It was 1:00 in the morning. And still well attended. And, we had the music going. We had this and that. Like, I had made a playlist of, some geek stuff. I don't even remember what we were talking about or what the topic was. But I was, like, running game shows. Like, it was fun. But it is the Twilight Zone in the sense that, like, and not even Twilight Zone. How do I say this? It's just another metaverse, multiverse rather. It's just another multiverse where you walk in there. You don't know what time of day it is. You don't know up from down. You got people randomly floating by in cosplay, then someone in regular like suit, And then you got like fucking Uncle Ben from, Peter Parker's Uncle Ben, like on the side of the road. Like, it's just the weirdest things happening. And then you got DJs and music. So it's just like, it reminds me of Vegas, but for geek conventions. Whereas like you go to Vegas, you don't really know what time of the day is or what's really going on. It's just things happening around you. That's how it feels. But if you are focused, then you would like deliberately put yourself in places where certain action is happening. So like they have, LAN parties, and, if you're trying to just game all the time, if you're trying to go shop and lose all your money with a whole bunch of stuff, there's plenty of that. They got a whole room full of vendors, and then like, it's just something to do, and it's a massive space too. So there's always something to do.
Nice. Well, yeah. I'm figuring this out. I did not manage to get a hotel room in the Gaylord where it's happening, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll be close by, and I don't sleep, so I'll be there all night long until I got to go home, and then I ain't gonna be there, but I'll be back the next day. I'll be there all weekend, so we gonna figure it out. If you're there, holla at me. I cannot wait. This is my first Mad Fest. It's going down. I'm gonna be in the house, so. It's something to look forward to early in the new year as we close this year out. Oh, man. Yeah. First of all, let me just give a big shout out to my brother, the one and only, the legendary Combat Jack. Today is a sad but also a glorious day, as 5 years ago today, Combat Jack transitioned. And I cannot believe it's been 5 years. That's the wildest thing, that it's been 5 years since I've spoken to my brother in the physical. It's crazy to me because the influence he's had on my life has been so long lasting, and things that I can never imagine that are still happening for me to this day. And as long as I will live are because of Combat Jack, Reggie Osei. So I just wanted to send a shout out to you. Thank you, brother. You know what I mean? We know you still here with us, maybe not in the physical, but people are always here as long as you remember them, as long as their energy continues on through you, they're always here. So, thank you. Shout out to my bro, Combat Jack.
And Reggie Osei, we trust, man. Like, rest in power, rest in paradise. Everything you said, I'm not going to repeat because you said everything that I feel. I always will feel about Reggie. I will always celebrate him, celebrate his life, celebrate his energy and everything he brought about, including everything y'all see here today. This is because of Reggie Osei. So, just always love and always respect, always.
For those who are new listeners and don't know, the voice you hear, and the reason why we've never changed our theme song from Fan Bros to For All Nerds, is because the voice you hear is Reggie Osei doing an impromptu singing on like the second or third episode of Fan Bros show.
Yeah.
Where he was just like, yo, we need a theme song, and started singing. I went home, found some horns, put the horns behind it. It just worked magically. And that's been our theme song to this day. So that's why our theme song says Fan Bros, even after we say you're listening to For All Nerds and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
For those new listeners who are wondering.
And there are a lot of new listeners, so, I know that's a cool Easter egg. But that is For All Nerds, formerly known as Fan Bros history there.
Right
Legend.
there. Legend. And speaking of some more history, right now, forallnerds.com is pizzopping. If you didn't know, that is our new location for all of our merch, such as, the joint I'm wearing right here, the Galactus and Friends. For those who know, what these names represent right here. I don't have to say no more, but you can cop that.
Let me see the names. Let's get a little closer. So I can see. There we go.
There you go. You want to see it like that? You want to see it like
Rad.
That?
The one I ain't gonna hold you. The only one I recognized right away was Norrin Rad. I remember when I first saw that shirt.
Well, that's the thing.
Then I put two and two together. I'm like, oh.
Most people will recognize Norrin Rad, but for those who don't understand, this is Galactus and his heralds. That's Galen, who is Galactus. That is Morg, his real name. Pyrus Krill is Firelord. Gabriel Land is Airwalker. Norrin Rad is Silver Surfer. Frankie Ray is Nova. And Tyros the Terrible is Terrax the Tamer. Galactus and his heralds right here. So this is some real deep cut geek culture stuff. We also have the T'Challa and his friends, which features a bunch of, blacker superheroes on there from all the various universes. The blacks.
We also have the
Negroes.
original Avengers.
We also have the original Avengers, which so far is not a big seller. We might have to drop it.
Nobody cares about that one, so we might have to take that shit down.
We might have to take that joint down. You know, I feel y'all. You know, maybe the original. I'm gonna do something with the new X-Men, not the original X-Men, but the new, more diverse X-Men, like the Nightcrawlers. You know, those type of people. I think that might work a little bit better than
Okay. Yeah, no one. Y'all are paying that man Tony and friends dust.
Dust.
That ticker says 0.
0. Like, I think even Galactus, you know, moved a few units. My man is on dust right now. It's all right, you know. That's why you try. That's why you try designs out. You know what I mean?
What does Michael Jackson say? That's why we practice. But yeah, y'all.
Look at Tito's dumbass dancing over there.
But yeah, y'all, like, we appreciate but it has still been fire because we have been getting lots of incredible feedback, lots of sales of our designs, and it does not stop, right? We've been saying that. We're going to continue to say that. And as Benhameen was alluding to, there's more designs that are coming. We're working on designs in the background. We're going to be releasing new things as we move on into the new year. In the meantime, make sure that if you see a design on 4lnerds.com, copy it right away, because there is a high likelihood that it's going to get pulled one day and you're not going to know why. Could be any reason or no reason at all, but it might happen. And this has happened. And people was like, yo, bring it back. And we're like, we can't. So if you, and dead ass, we cannot. So if you see something, pick that joint up. Sometimes we might release some special colorways for a very limited time. I'm talking about very, very, very limited. Or sometimes you gotta be in the physical with us to get certain things. Like there's that special colorway from Crown Wakanda for the T'Challa and Friends that you can't get. You had to have physically been there. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all like, oh, it's not fair. Well, you're gonna get your chance to be not fair to somebody else soon. But as we said, when you see that, 4lnerds.com, get that merch, bro, and stuff is gonna be on sale. You gotta just watch the site, man, for real.
I was thinking for the new year, we might have to do like black and gold. You know what I mean? Like limited, like a 1 month only.
Could we do gold foil? Is that possible?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like gold foil words. Maybe even February, you know. Maybe we wait for that on February, Black History Month, like only for February, black and gold. You know what I mean? Ooh, it's coming.
I like that.
You know, along with that X-Men drop since that Avengers ain't working. Yeah. But yeah, we got some other things coming, some new designs coming to For All Nerds. So make sure you are over there. And like she said, it's limited edition. I got one in mind by my man Sketch Sawyer. That is going to be limited. Like I promise you, because I already know certain people. Like I'll just say Jordan Peele might be like, yo, bruh. You know what I mean?
he might have some words for you. We still have our TeePublic page. We are moving more of our designs over to 4lnerds.com. Respect and protect Black-owned businesses instead of giant corporations. We will be a giant corporation one day, I guess. You know, that's the way of the world, I guess. But not, you know, just until that time, you know, we do still have stuff on TeePublic. I'm wearing the Storm on a Motorbike by Sketch Sawyer. There are some exclusives still on there as well. Particularly like you have our For All Nerds logo and some other stuff you can get. Same situation. Those are going to start coming down, and it's going to be when you least expect it. You're going to be pissed, and I don't know what to tell you. Is nothing I can do about it. Okay, so teepublic.com/stores/4allnerds, and going forward, make sure you are checking 4allnerds.com to get the new when it comes to the 4 All Nerds merch.
Word up. And speaking of some new news, there was some big news out of WB, out of the Warner Brothers camp with your man's James Gunn. I mean, when you see Fire James Gunn trending, boy, you're like, wow, you know, that man must be doing something right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, and as upset as, you know, I could be about the situation, like, it's still the same toxic fandoms from the SnyderVerse people who are just going off for like, what the and this is separate from Henry Cavill, but just this whole vitriol towards James Gunn. I'm just like, what? He has the reins now. He's going to make change. And I've said this so many times about DCEU or WB, whatever you want to call it. It's been in disarray for quite some time, and nothing is sacred with the way shit has been there. So you can't get mad at the man for changing stuff. Can I get mad that Henry Cavill ain't coming back as Superman? Absolutely. Am I going to wish death on James Gunn and friends? Absolutely not. You gotta be balanced in that approach. Like, you can be upset at something and also realize that, you know, sometimes things are mutually exclusive too. Like, you know, so I mean, things happen, bro. So I don't know. Like, I was just looking at people who were just really taking this shit to heart, and I understand being upset, but goddamn, y'all are no better. Y'all are no better. Like, some of those people were the people who were against the SnyderVerse people, and now I'm like, y'all acting just like them. It's crazy to me.
Well, this goes back to why, like, when you asked me would I ever let up on the recast T'Challa people, and I said no. Because this was the same problem that I saw coming from them that I'm going to see here, that you see here already, is that I even saw this one big, what do you call it, account, SnyderVerse account right there. Pinned tweet was the Simpsons meme where Moe is throwing Barney out of the bar and then Barney sneaking back in. So it's like DC was throwing out, you know, whatever the hashtag was, bring back the SnyderVerse. They're throwing that out, and then it was restored. SnyderVerse was coming in behind them.
Oh, because it's basically you're trying to say, well, we're not doing that no more. Like, okay,
we're done. Like, we're done. You know, we gave y'all Justice League. We're done. That's what DC said, and it's like, no, you're not. And that was the same thing I felt with recast T'Challa. Is like, if you give them this, then it becomes like you're just bowing to create, you know, to people who aren't creatives. And when that happens, they're gonna keep saying, "Give me more, more, more."
Yeah.
So that was my problem with it. And like, because of that, I'm like, yo, honestly, I'm going to keep that same energy again, because this goes back to recast. They're always like, well, you want to do this to the white characters. Man, I hope they never make another Superman movie. Straight up.
I mean, look.
Straight up.
And that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
I'm good.
That's fine. And actually, I wouldn't be mad if they didn't. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, the end of the world. No, at all.
Yeah.
The only thing that I was upset about was specifically about Henry Cavill himself. And I know you, Ben, you mentioned that we got 3 good stuff out of him and you was fine with it. I love that nigga as Superman, period. Okay. So I was hurt. And I was more hurt. I was double, triple, quadruple hurt because it was after the nigga dipped out on The Witchers. And I'm like, so wait a minute, you give me Hemsworth the Lesser now as the new Witcher. I'm not watching that shit. Now you're not even coming back as Superman after I just watched fucking weird ass Black Adam. So I'm just like, what? Like, it was just like, what do you want me to do with this information, Henry?
I love The Rock, but I think that, you know, the whole, like, everything that's come out of this, like, Black Adam flopping and, you know, him being like, yo, the power in the DC hierarchy is about to change.
I was with him, though. I was like, you know what? This could happen. And I feel foolish as fuck now because I'm like, God damn, like, none of this shit happened. Like, he was like, we're going to rebuild off the back of Black Adam. And then ain't shit happening with none of that. Like, nothing. All of that stuff is being dismantled piece by, and I can't even see it dismantled. There's nothing was there in the first place. Okay, the little bit of bricks that were hanging off by a thread like a fucking Jenga tower are now fucking coming down. That's where we are when it comes to the WB universe, DC universe. That's
me. So I'm like, you know, let's see what James Gunn does because
that's what I said. Let's wait and see.
But sadly, he said we get most Superman. You know, he said Batman's a big part of his plans.
I'm not trying to see Smallville no more, bro. Like. Why he says, someone said, and that's another thing. James Gunn did this thread on Twitter, and he was just like, someone said, yo, so we getting another reboot? He said, nah. But you are gonna get a younger Superman. I'm like, so we doing this again? Like, we keep doing it again and again. Like, fan for all that. Bring back Henry Cavill just standing there with the fucking cape on his back. That's like, at this point, like, I don't want to see shit else. I don't. If you're gonna
Superman's like Native American or Mexican or something, I don't care.
Unless you're gonna do something absolutely outrageous or when I say outrageous, I don't mean bad. I just mean just completely left field that I would not have anticipated.
Yeah.
Or you put Henry Cavill on the screen as Superman. I don't fucking want to see it anymore. Like, I don't give a fuck about Superman no more. Go do something else. Now, why I say that, I might be eating my words in a year or two. I don't know. But I'm just not really wanting to see another young Superman. I'm not.
I might be eating my words in January. Like, we still never know what happened to Ta-Nehisi Coates' version, to the version that Michael B. Jordan was developing. I know all these joints are probably in the air right now or, you know, ain't going to be there, maybe. One or the other.
And I feel that, and just be clear, I also feel that way about the live action stuff. the animation can do whatever the fuck they want to do. I will run to DC animation every time. Generally speaking, every time I'm there.
I ain't ran in a long time though. It's been a minute.
Them shits be good. Them shits be
They used to be. They used to be the best.
They used to be the best, right? But I'm
bugging.
A lot of faltering of DC.
I'm bugging. Harley Quinn is still one of the best shows on television.
Like, bro, like period. So
period. End of story. Yeah.
So like I said, I understood some of the energy, and then the rest of the energy, I was like, y'all are bugging. Like you gotta relax. You know.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna. That's the problem. Like the people, like, cause I swear, dog, like, cause right after I was looking, and the recast dudes to this day, it's like, and it's like, even E-Man, shout out to our brother E-Man, was sitting there. He was talking about the SnyderVerse people, and he's like, "Oh, y'all acting especially toxic now." I'm sorry for the voice, E-Man. That's not how it sounds.
He don't sound like that.
No, I know, but that's just my voice whenever people are like saying something that is kind of like, isn't it ironic? Fam?
Yeah.
You still got recasting your hashtag, but neither here nor there.
I'm gonna ignore what you just said. I heard it and it processed, and I'm just gonna keep pushing.
I mean, he does.
Like, Benhameen has learned from the best when it comes to shade. Like, I think this man, E-Man still has it in his
like your Twitter thing. I never know what to call that. Right, when you change your Twitter, when you change your Twitter name without not your actual ad name.
just the handle.
Yeah, okay, your handle. And his handle.
You mean the description? Your handle stays the same. You just mean the label.
Yes.
The
okay, his label still has recast. E-Man still has recast T'Challa in his label. Like that's still, so it's like, of course you're gonna still be riling them up, and that it's the same. Restore Snyder. They're one and the same, full of hot mess.
What's not hot mess?
Yes, what's not a hot mess
is the fact that I am part of the team of Black women that is putting together Virtuous Con, February 25th and 26th. This is the all virtual online convention that I've been a part of for the last year. Last year was amazing, and it's been going on for a few years now. Myself, the Blur Girl, Cerise Murphy, a bunch of incredible people, Black women are part of this. And we're putting it together. We've already announced a lot of special guests. There are more to come. And we want you to just enjoy yourself, okay? So go to virtuouscon.com so you can get more information about it. It's a sci-fi comic-based convention, but, it expands throughout entertainment. And like I said, because it's virtual, you can enjoy it from the comforts of your home. You can be anywhere in the world. And we are going to be having some amazing guests. Like I said, some, not even a lot, just some of the huge roster that we have has been announced, and it's going to be fire. So make sure you check that out.
All right. And, since we are live right here on twitch.tv/forallnerds, let me shout out some people in the chat. Shout out to Royal Martin, Dub Deuce, Lord Megatron, Quiet Stormborn, I Am Only Betty, Maze. What up, brother? Eddie Got Soul. That's about it for now. Philip Winslow. Yes.
I need to get on the live myself so I could start chatting in the chat. See what y'all doing.
And shout outs to all y'all. Say what up to us in the chat. We are live. We have got everything looking and good and looking and sounding good. That wasn't your stream messing up. That was me messing up.
That was you butchering in real life.
Yeah, that was me butchering in real life.
Yes.
But as I said, we're looking and sounding good. So we'll be doing this a lot more regularly. As you saw, if you were on here just yesterday, I was doing a DJ stream because I got my beautiful new light set up and I just had to show it off to everybody. So, we are here. We are live. And, thank y'all for being here. What else is going on in the world of
Please make sure you are listening and watching to our reviews. We have our YouTube, which has all the playback from past videos and lives and streams that you may have missed. youtube.com/forallnerdstv. Especially make sure you take a listen to our Avatar review. If you haven't seen Avatar already, or you're just curious, what do I expect out of this? Watch that review. That's all I have to say for you. And make sure you are doing things like Benhameen mentioned the Twitch. Make sure you're actually subscribed to the Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch subscription anyway. So just make sure your accounts are linked. You could just look online and figure out how to do that. but twitch.tv/4allnerds. And as I said, when you are subscribed, you get access to you can't touch those other emojis, those special emojis you made for us, unless you're a subscriber. You can, I think you got to at least follow if you want to chat. That's enough. But if you want some more privileges, you got to subscribe. So we appreciate that. And make sure, I always say this at the beginning and at the end, you got to make sure y'all are following and subscribe to us on every podcast platform imaginable. Like, that matters. And it super matters. And we're super appreciative when you share and tell everybody. Every time, I don't care how often, that you tag us and say, yo, this is the podcast you need to listen to. Someone says, yo, I'm looking for a fun podcast about geek culture or this or that. Hit us. Let us know. Like, that matters. And as you see, like, we get some shine off of that, and that helps grow the fam. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And speaking of the fam, let's give a happy 3rd anniversary to Luna, the engineer god, who joined us 3 years ago. I myself cannot believe it. As I was saying on Twitter, ever since the moment Luna joined, he just alleviated so much stress.
So much. This man, Luna, the engineer god, is what I call him. This man is the precipice of sound design and engineering, okay? The reason why we always sound so good, the reason why we always sound so crisp, the reason why you get those crazy sound effects at just the right time, and just other stuff that just dope, that really helps the DNA of what For All Nerds sounds like. Like, you know how For All Nerds sounds because we have a sound, and that is due to Luna, the extraordinaire himself. So thank you so much, Luna. Luna, we absolutely love you. I can't believe, as Benhameen said, it's been 3 years. That was wild to me when you posted that. I was just like, wow. But I am so happy you are still rocking with us, and that you are, like, Luna is fam. So I'm just really happy, really happy and pleased to hear about the 3rd Annie. Wow, man.
Yes. And
Crazy.
Speaking of Luna, with that, we're going to take a quick break right now before we come back and do some of our announcements of our favorite things of 2022. If you are here with us live, stick with us because, we're going to be going to a quick intermission. But if you're not here with us live, you won't hear any of this because it'll just be like there'll be a break and then we'll be right back. So figure it out, folks.
This is Yvonne Chapman. I play Javon on Kung Fu's CW. When I'm not on set, I am listening to For All Nerds.
This is Niambi. When I'm not busy doing the acting thing, the writing, drawing, illustrating, I'm listening to For All Nerds.
This is Shannon Houston, writer on HBO's Lovecraft Country, and you are listening to For All Nerds.
This is Malcolm Spellman, head writer, Falcon and Winter Soldier. You are listening to For All Nerds.
It's Ihoma, writer for Lovecraft Country. When I am not creating, I am listening to For All Nerds.
My name is Damon Lindelof. I'm one of the writers of Watchmen, The Leftovers, Lost. And when I am not sheltering in place, washing my hands, and sheltering from squids, I am listening to For All Nerds.
This is Kate Herron. I'm the director of Loki, and you are listening to For All Nerds.
Boom! Look at that, so smooth, folks. And we are back here on the For All Nerds show, live on twitch.tv/forallnerds. Shout outs to everybody out there in the chat. Shout out to my brother Maze. Congratulations and happy birthday to young Juju. Isn't his Xavier in there somewhere? Ain't there?
Yeah.
Xavier up in there, the professor himself. Shout outs. Happy birthday to him. And thank y'all for joining us here on twitch.tv/forallnerds. And like I said before, we're wrapping up this year. It's almost the end of 2022. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite things that went down.
And this is going to be like cross genres, cross categories, cross everything. So we're talking about films, TV, games, music, artists of all denominations. And like I said, like it's a church, but artists of all mediums and everything you could think of. There's no, and this is not in like precedence order, like one is better not. This is just things that are like the top for us for 2022. And by the way, Benhameen, could not believe as I was writing some of this stuff, I was like, shit, that happened this year?
Bam.
Like, this shit is wild to me. Like, especially ever since the pandemic, like, time makes no sense anymore.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And I could go into all kind of scientific reasons why it doesn't, but that'd be a whole nother podcast. But time probably doesn't make sense for a lot of scientific reasons. And it's not just that people think it doesn't make sense. It probably isn't making sense anymore. But that's a whole nother story. So talk about things that happened this year. Two things that I want to shout out that they're not two of my favorite things, but they're two things that I realized. We were talking about this before the show. Desus and Mero ended this year. And I just effing found out that Jalen and Jacoby, one of my favorite sports talk shows, I feel like Desus and Mero and Jalen and Jacoby were both two of the most culturally important shows, you know, as people say, for the culture. And both of them motherfuckers ended this year. And I cannot, Jalen and Jacoby do not have beef as, you know, I still don't know what the situation is with Desus and Mero, but I know it wasn't, you know, the best.
It wasn't copacetic, exactly.
Yeah, Jalen and Jacoby is just moving on. He's been in ESPN for 23 years. He's bouncing, so I understand it. But it hurts because their show was so much culture and just really dope sports show, man. Dope talk show. I love talk shows of any nature because, you know, those are the people who I listen to, who I want to aspire to be like. Like Tony Reali on Pardon the Interruption is my favorite host. He's been my favorite host since he started. I think he's a G. I've begged him to come on the show many times on Twitter because I think he is just fantastic, quick-witted, smart, intelligent, everything you have to be a host. And so I love that type of stuff. And Jalen and Jacoby were great. So shout outs to y'all because y'all were one of my favorite things of 2022. It just sucks that, you know, like I said this to you, Tatiana, off the air, every day that Brittany Griner was incarcerated, they mentioned it every day. Every day, and they went off the air before she got freed, so they didn't even get to say it or even have her on the show, but every day, and they were like the only sports show that I saw that every day without fail mentioned Brittany Griner. And so things like that not being part of the culture anymore, man, that hurts me because, you know, they were great.
And it hurts, it does hurt in general. So, I mean, I know that's not like a positive thing that they ended, but I mean, you just wanted to definitely give shine for that in, you know, the 2020s. So, damn, that's crazy.
Word up.
What else? So this is one, I think we got to say this one first. And this is literally, I think we wrote this, the first thing both of us wrote. The most littiest film I've ever seen in my entire life. A 3-hour film I will willingly, 3.5, whatever how long the fucking movie is, I will sit there all day, every day and watch that movie over and over again. That's how damn good it is. That's how damn entertaining it is. That's how you make a story, Jimmy. You know, just, man. Oh my goodness. Like, as I even talk about it, the music pops up into my head. He's playing. The scenes pop up into my head. The opening scene by itself with Mans busting down a whole mob. Dolo, like,
the shot from inside the mob lives free in my head.
When we talk about cinematography, shit I ain't never seen in my life. I ain't never seen, as you meant, Benhameen just mentioned, a shot from inside, literally, like, say a bunch of people just like, you know, jumped on top of you. You're trying to fight your way out on some, you know, 8-man shit. Think about what that would look like to you from your vantage point, and then you trying to fight your way out. That was the scene, bro. And I was like, just looking at, I just never experienced something like that in my life. It is an experience. RRR is one of my top picks for 2022 for sure.
It's one of my top picks forever. Like,
yes, forever too.
The first time I saw it, I knew immediately. Like, shout outs to Mellow Marketer again. He was the one. He was like, "Yo," I was like, "Yo, I got free weekend. What can I watch?" You know, and he was like, "Yo, peep this. RRR. It's on Netflix. It's the greatest thing you'll ever see." And about 20 minutes in, I paused it and went to Twitter and I was like, "Yo, I'm 20 minutes into this movie and it's one of the fucking illest things I've ever seen." And it took me. It's a 3-hour epic, and it took me that day like 4-5 hours to watch it because I was out of my mind roasted, and it was just so good that I just had to keep pausing it and being like, yo, what the fuck am I watching right now? You know, like, is this one of the greatest things that I've ever seen?
The greatest. And Benhameen don't usually gas stuff like that much, but it's like it took me like 2 weeks to see it from the time you told me to watch it.
And I was gassing you every day.
Literally every single day, this man would text me, yo, you watch RR yet? Yo, did you see RR? And I was like, yo, why is he pressing me so hard? Like, Benhameen don't really press like that on certain things. So I'm just like, wait a minute. All right, let me go see. And literally, like you said, within 15, 20 minutes, I text him, this is the best fucking thing I ever seen in life. And he just started dying laughing and text like, because it
gets better and better. And that's the thing. It's like, it was like me, like I've told you before, like when I first listened to Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links, which I consider a 5-star classic, one of the greatest of all time. And as I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh my God, the last track is better than the last one. And then the next track's better than that one. And the next track. So it's like every track got better and better, but the first track was already incredible. Yeah. So it's like, this shit is a fucking incredible. And that's how RR is just like, yo, the last scene.
It just keeps
this
escalating.
nigga just released lions, tigers, and bears on that ass.
I've never seen a film escalate in its greatness.
Every second.
As it gets longer, typically what happens, it goes down. You're like, all right, James, I'm ready for the film to be over. No, this goes up and as it keeps going, I'm like, okay, I'm like, yo, don't, and that's so funny. Yes, Benhameen, because RR takes elements from Terminator and other stuff. But anyway, I just never seen a body of work just keep going, getting better and better the longer it goes. It's like, you know, usually like eventually like, all right, man, you gotta stop. No, I was just like, this is please go watch RR. It's on Netflix.
Yes. Shout out to SS Rajamouli. He is the director and writer of it. He recently announced that he is doing a sequel that is in the early stages of production now. God is good, folks. Let me say it in the church, say amen.
It better be 6 goddamn hours. And I will be sitting right there. I will do a shift.
And I saw May say it in the chat that he's mad he didn't get to hit theaters. I'm mad too. I didn't know about it when it was in theaters. They've done re-releases. I'm hoping they do one in New York soon because, oh my God, I need to see this movie in a theater full of people. And I've now seen it like 4-5 times. You know, I've watched this 3-hour joint at least 5 times already. It is fucking hell. You know, it goes in my, like, it's up there. Like, I actually recently started reading this one strip version that I found for Everything Everywhere.
Okay.
And I'll talk about that in a second. But it's just wild to me that in 2022, 2 of the best movies I've ever seen were released. And Everything Everywhere All at Once is the other one. I've only seen that once in theaters. And it fucked me up so much that I haven't been able to watch it again. But it's now on Hulu, so I'm going to watch it again soon. But I think that's one of the best movies I ever saw. Because, you know, the first time I saw it, that was my reaction. Like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. This is just one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
And, you know, RR got nominated for a Golden Globe. So
yes, thank God.
I just want it to win every award possible for it.
Everything got nominated too, right?
I believe so. It better have. I don't have the list in front of me, but
yeah, damn sure better have. But the funny thing is, I was reading this one strip version. It's from 2017 of Everything Everywhere All at Once, and they originally wanted Jackie Chan to be the lead.
I read that. Yeah.
I didn't know that until I was reading that.
I knew that, like maybe a day after watching it, I read about that. But no, I'm really happy it was Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too.
Really happy.
And I'm really happy her husband is played by the dude who played Short Round, because I think that dude, I mean, knowing his history as Short Round and just the performance he put on in Everything Everywhere is, oh my God, heartbreaking. Like, fucking hell. You know, Just Be Kind is like the greatest speech, one of the greatest speeches in the history of cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, another topic, like since you're talking about it, Everything Everywhere All at Once, another type movie where I will just watch it over and over and over again and just be mind blown each time. That was the real multiverse movie of this year, not the other one. Sorry. That was it.
That ain't even a question.
Yeah. So just again, just when you talk about imagination and the limits or non-limits of it, and just the unexpected, and just classic cinema.
Yeah.
That is cinema. That's fucking cinema. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah. And then since we're talking cinema, you had to throw up Nope up there because we both saw that on the IMAX, and that was one of them ones, dog, where I was like, yo, I'm so glad I got to see that fucking ship on its side, chasing after that motorcycle in IMAX.
So glad. I got so blessed to have seen that in IMAX. Oh man. God. No, Jordan Peele, the God. Like,
yeah.
And it makes me mad that like Nope has not been in more conversations. Whether for awards or just general conversations about cinema, because Nope is top.
And I think, okay, this is one reason I think it is, because I think one of the themes of Nope went over a lot of people's heads, and the people whose heads it didn't go over were so upset about it that they don't want to talk about it. Because Nope, one of the bigger themes of it is Hollywood, and it's talking about how people will do anything in service of Hollywood and will literally kill themselves over being part of the spectacle.
Yeah.
And that's a big theme of that movie. And so for people, so for people who work in Hollywood, they're like, fuck you, Jordan. And then for people who, you know, they didn't get it, are like, because when I've explained that to people, they're like, oh shit. You know, it's one of them oh shit moments. So I think that's a reason why because people look for these big racial themes from Jordan. And this one didn't really have that. And so because of that, I think it wasn't as accepted as his other two. Well, I think I think Get Out and then Nope, you know, and I think that's for me, it's a close.
Those are the things, You know, and that's unfortunate too, because I mean, yes, he started not to say he started that kind of genre, but he became the poster child of that approach, you know, like the racial thriller horror or whatever. And
I talked about that. Don't put that evil on him, Ricky Bobby.
Right.
Like I told y'all about that shit. Like, don't do it.
As you say, quote, putting that evil on him. Like, people started, anything he put out was like, okay, there's going to be another Get Out. Like, no, bro. Like, let him flex, because he has, and that's why I feel like Nope wasn't part of the conversation, because people got pattern matching stuff.
Yep.
Like, oh, it's going to be this. Like, no. Like, you don't even know what. And I said in my review, you do not know what's going on in Nope until it's too late. And then by that time, you're a victim. You're a victim, just like everybody else on the ground. Just like I'm not gonna ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. Please watch Nope. The twist. That's how you do a twist.
Yeah.
That's how you. Once again, that's how you do a story. I mean, and Keke Palmer, the range. Okay. Yes, Danny Kaluuya, amazing, but Keke. The range, and that's the other thing about this movie did for me, just really display and illustrate Kiki's range and how good she is, and how much of a legend she also is in her own right. Like, and I don't think enough people got to see that. And then of course, Jordan Peele snuck a bunch of fucking anime into a horror thriller sci-fi movie. He snuck anime in there, bro. Several shows. And he confirmed that it's not, this is not some weird conspiracy theory. He mentioned this, and he was just like, I can't believe I got to do that. Like, it was beautiful. Just absolutely gorgeous film in scene and in thought. So thank you for Nope.
Okay, another one that I have to mention real quick is, because Mello once again put me on to this joint, is a amazing little film that I saw this year called Baby Assassins.
Baby Assassins, okay.
Yes. I want to actually look up the writer-director real quick, but Baby Assassins is directed by Yugo Sakamoto. And
I know that name, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know their other work. I'm not sure if I've seen any other work, but it's a Japanese film, and it is about two young women who have just graduated from assassin school, and now they must get regular jobs. And they are absolute sociopaths. And because they've been trained all their lives to be assassins. And so it is a really ill movie where, like, when I watched it, I liked it. But it wasn't until I sat there for like 20 minutes and then I started thinking about some of the dialogue and some of the themes that were being said. And I was like, oh, this is fucking brilliant. Because it's a brilliant movie about class, about jobs, about work, about capitalism, about money, about all these different things, and it really combined with like the nihilistic. And I don't even want to say that it's the current what's the current youngest generation, like
Gen Z.
Gen Z. Because to me, I feel like my generation was super nihilistic. I feel like every young generation, I think, has gotten more and more nihilistic. I think it's just that's just how the world has worked. Because I know us were like, we were like a lot of premillennial tension and all that type of shit. So we were like, fuck it, the world's over, But it's that type of film where it's dealing with young people who are like, fuck everything. And we're also assassins. So it's a very
my favorite genre.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite movies. It's not like one of them like Everything or where like this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. But of the year, easily one of my favorite films.
It's a top pick.
It's
a top 2022 pick. Yeah,
Hell yeah, that shit's excellent.
I think I gotta state the obvious.
So funny.
Wakanda Forever, top 2022 pick. What Coogler and the entire team accomplished, they accomplished the absolute impossible. Yeah. They did the absolute impossible in so many different shapes and forms. We've spoken about this at length. So you need to go check out our reviews, like spoiler reviews it's on our YouTube, again, youtube.com/4allnerdstv, where we've had people like E-Man come on, Fantastic Frankie come on, the Blur Girl, Rodimus Prime from the Black Guy Who's Tips. Like we've
Janicia,
had
Ron from
Janicia
TLC
from the
Culture,
Queen with T and J, like Ron So Old from everywhere. I couldn't name everybody, but yes, like to have that to get these different perspectives and background about this film and what it was able to accomplish, all things being considered, is just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And even if you take away the all things considered, this is still a phenomenal film. Like it gave us Kukulkan.
It gave us. You don't want to kill all these colonials, colonizers?
What you mean? No, what he said. So you're telling me you want to burn the world, and if we don't comply, you're going to burn Wakanda too? Yes.
What?
What you thought I said?
Like, you lucky I just killed your queen and bounced for no reason. Like, people forget about that part of the movie. This man really was like, all right. He was like, all right, I'll let you slide for a few days, when he could have just rubbed him out right then. You know what I mean?
I'm still mad, but no.
But at least he gave him a few days. He gave him a timeout.
Kukulkan. Yeah. And of course, M'Baku's such a fave of mine. Oh my God. But
I mean, whole movie just absolutely, we like we said, we talked about it too much. It's just one of the greatest things.
Something I have on the Woman King. That was something I had been anticipating for
seen it.
Years. Oh my God. I mean, like again, it's not the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life, but it's good. It fit. What's the word I'm looking for? It did what it was supposed to do. I have been waiting. I have been following this project for years. Every time a little inkling of information came out, I was rejoicing. Like I was waiting forever. And then it finally came out and it did what needed to be done. Viola Davis, Brolic, Lashana Lynch, and everybody just in that bitch going ham. Like if you just want to see Black women going fucking ham and doing it and looking good for a reason, for a purpose. And yes, y'all can talk a lot about the history behind it, like the actual real history behind it. Just remember, this is a movie. This is fiction, and they're going to take liberties. So just have that in your mind. But that being said, it was fantastic. Okay, it was really good, and I was just really happy that it finally dropped, and I had a blast with it. So I put The Woman King on my top pick for 2022.
All right, well, there's that. I have to check it soon because I have not had a chance to see it yet. Let's see. Let's talk about some television that we keep this year. Because once again, two of the greatest things that I've ever seen in my life, two of the greatest television series that I feel like I've ever seen came out this year, and they both start with an A, and that's Andor and Atlanta. Well, Atlanta had its final 2 seasons this year, and I thought they were both, I think that's just a 4-season run of one, like, I don't want to say the greatest television show ever, but it's, it's up there.
It's Atlanta.
It's like, up there.
I mean, say what you will about Mans, but he and team can write the hell out of a show. Like, the themes and the concepts that were being explored and the way that they were being explored were just beyond what I would have conceived. And
you saying finish it, right?
No, I got like one more episode, but no, I still didn't finish it.
Oh, you got through the 4th season though.
Yeah, I got through that.
Okay.
But so don't say everything. I mean, you shouldn't say everything.
No, I mean, there's nothing like, it's not like the last episode was any different than, there's no way to ruin it. Yeah.
Okay.
The last episode wasn't like some big, it was just another wild ass episode.
What I particularly loved about the season, like they were separate. There were stories. They were like stories about the characters we've been knowing for all these years, but they were separate stories into them of themselves. They were story books of just concepts and things that are just played out. Like Ben, I mean, you mentioned the whole Avatar episode, the white Avatar episode. Like, to think of the things like that, like the concept of being replaced, the concepts of
that shit was
white
so
kids
funny because
being the face of rap and things like that. Like,
I'm sitting there watching the episode,
mind-boggling.
And I got it like 2 minutes before they said it. I realized what they were about to do. I was like, yo, and then when he was like, your YWA, I was like, young white. I didn't say Avatar, but I knew something. I got it. I was crying. I'm like, this is because it's something that, like, that's the thing. Atlanta's just that show where it taps into the culture so perfectly. It's things that we all talk about and discuss, but then they use it and make these narrative stories, and the stories are so well told and so well acted, so well produced, everything.
I mean, the things that happen to Darius, the fucking woman with the knife. Like, it's just the things that you see, being stuck in perpetual loop in a mall. Like you say, oh, I see my ex and this and this and that. Like I said, it's so smart, and I think that's also what irritates people, because the man is so smart and still says dumb things sometimes. But
I didn't even know, and I don't care either. That's
I know you don't care, but he'd be saying some dumb stuff. I'm just like, nobody was thinking about that, Donald. But that being said, it's just so smart, and it's so inquisitive, and yes, it loops in the culture, like shit that is like what I'm saying, and Black American culture particularly, but it's just relatable and understandable, and also it's on a psychological level of shit that occurs within a lot of, not all, but a lot of our experiences. So Atlanta was up there for me as well.
Yeah, I even think, and I saw a lot of people start saying dumb things. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I know he had to respond to a lot of dumb things that were said this year about the show, where people started saying, "Oh, he's writing it for white people, etc."
No.
All right, well,
not at all.
Not at all. He can be a hot mess, whatever. So the best show. The other best show that I'm not sure if you've started yet, and I've been on you like I was about RRR about, so I don't understand why not, but Andor.
Oh, Andor. You know why? Because I just have not been in the right space. I watched the first episode and I was dead tired and fell asleep. So I said, damn, I gotta watch. Because Andor, especially the first few episodes that I'm reading, like, you gotta pay attention. Like, you gotta at least really pay attention and be present.
It's slow.
Yeah.
It's slow.
And I just couldn't do it. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I had to be in a space where I'm ready to sit there and be present. That being said, everything I've seen about it from Mello, from you, from everyone along, Dr. Dre, Mendy, like, everybody is like, this is the cream of the crop when it comes to Star Wars stories. Like, and I'm ready to watch and really indulge in it. But wow.
It's not just the cream of the crop when it comes to Star Wars stories. It's just one of the best shows I've ever seen. At least for its first season. It has one more season. I have absolute faith in Tony Gilroy and the crew to bring it home, because after seeing how impossibly well structured and well told this season was, I have no doubt that they already know what they're doing and they're cranking it out in the writer's room right now. And I really cannot wait to see how they wrap it up. It's going to be a few years before we get to see that anyway. But yeah, I just think Andor, the first season, is just one of the greatest shows of all time. It will live in my heart forever. It's definitely one of the best. If the second season's whack, whatever, because that first season will still be impeccable. Like, untouchable, pretty much. It's definitely easily the best Star Wars thing I hate to put it above things like Empire Strikes Back or even it, but as far as television, it leagues above everything they've done. Unless you're talking about animated. It's the only thing that I would say that equals the animated series.
And it's, it's hard to say. Like, people ask, they'd be like, well, how does this fare against things like Mandalorian? The tone is so different.
Yeah, but it's so much better.
No, it's not even a question. Would you still feel it's better?
Wait, it's not even a question. It's like I say, Andor, like Mello said this to me, it has no right to be this good. For Star Wars, because Star Wars is normally like, it's Mandalorian, it's pop, fiction, it's like, it's cute, it's mainly generated towards kids with some serious ideas in there. Andor is the reverse, generated to adults with little to no kid moments. And it's some very serious ideas. And once again, that's why a lot of people couldn't get with it, because it paints everything in shades of gray, which is why I loved it. Because like that's what Clone Wars did for the Jedi and for the Sith. It started painting them in shades of gray, where it's like, look, this ain't nearly as clear cut as you make it. Now, the Sith are obviously, some bad dudes, but the way the Jedi operate ain't the best either.
And ain't that much. Shout out to Guru.
Yeah, and that's what Clone Wars pointed out. Yeah. So this points out that the way the Rebels and the Empire, the way any rebellion is formed, is going to involve a lot of grimy shit.
Absolutely.
And so this, oh my God, yeah, just talking about it, I'm like, fuck, that was so good. Mon Mothma. I never thought they would make me care about a character like Mon Mothma. And her peril, her plight in this first season is like,
yeah.
Every single character has an arc. It's just impossibly well written. I cannot bid the show up enough.
But that's absolutely on the docket for me to finish. I have another show that starts with the letter A. That's my top pick for 2022, and that is Abbott Elementary. I love it.
Oh my God,
it's so good. When I say I love Quinta, like I am her come up and her rise.
Yeah,
and it's so interesting because like, I was with her back in the BuzzFeed days. And then when she, started doing her own, like when she was quote unquote just the meme, right? Like, like to see her grow and in strength. And also she's similar to me. Like, she has that quietness about her, right? Like she's not boasting or none of that. She's just, she just kept grinding, was quiet, grind, then release her shit. And whoa, it's this fucking huge juggernaut that is Abbott Elementary. And the things that she was able to do with this show and really the happiness that she's able to bring about with this show. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to grasp on, latch on to the characters and follow all of the misadventures and everything going on, and to follow the kids in this Philly school. Like it's just it's the cutest fucking show. And she did that. And then she did that for Sheryl Lee Ralph. Like Sheryl Lee won the Golden Globe. Like legend. Yeah. That should have been had her flowers for this, but that's all right. We got it now. It is what it is. But it's just like she was able to like change the landscape and give ABC the biggest fucking win in years, man. So Abbott Elementary, just a fun show. Really love it. I love the entire cast. Tyler James Williams. I love Tyler James. Yeah. Anything he could be in, I'm with it. So
no, Abbott Elementary is absolutely brilliant, and it's so brilliant because it really points out something. Because I actually watched the first episode of Blockbuster, which just got canceled by Netflix, right? And both Blockbuster and Abbott Elementary both use the same theory. They both take The Office and put them into different formats.
Settings.
Yeah, into different settings. And that's all it is. Mm-hmm. And I saw people talk about Blockbuster like, oh, they just copied The Office. And then, man, that's why it got canceled. And I'm like, well, all Abbott Elementary does is copy The Office and put it in elementary school. But it's the brilliance of the cast. Like one of the things is it's the cast, it's the writing, it's the details. So that just goes to show you no idea is original, and it doesn't matter if you hear somebody else do your idea and you got an idea for something you wanted to write or create, do it, because your version and your thought process will create your own. Like one of my mentors once told me, yo, if you see a script that you like and you can't figure out how to format your script, steal that format. Because then it's going to be your own joint when it's done in the end. So, and that's what Abbott shows, because, like, everything you said about Tatiana, I fully agree. I mean, I both watched her. I remember I ran into Shorty in the club in LA, tried to get her on the show. This was way back.
Oh, Quinta?
Yeah, and I think Abbott had just been announced. It was like, green.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It wasn't even, but I knew of her, so I was like, yo, come on the show. And I probably scared to death out of her because she's fucking this tiny and it's a little ass club.
No, and she's very like to herself too.
And I'm like, yeah, Benhameen was good, and all that shit. So it wasn't, so she never came on the show, but it's what it is. And
one day,
absolutely love Abbott Elementary, and I do not watch much network TV at all. And that joint is a must watch for me every week. So shout out to her. Another one, Quit mentioned. Yeah. Oh, you had more on that?
No, no, go ahead. Continue.
Okay, well, two joints that I've just started watching finally were, I finally started watching Severance. Everyone's thoughts about that. It's on Apple TV. Really, really solid pilot. I'll eventually get back to it, I think. I know that show is ill, but I got to get back to that. Really solid pilot, though. And also, because people always ask me, and I don't watch enough of it, I'm actually peeping some anime right now, and I watched the first 2 episodes of Chainsaw Man, and I loved them.
Good, okay. Chainsaw Man was actually really big at Comic-Con this year in terms of cosplay and interest and things like that. So, yeah. Representation.
The animation is fire, and I really like where I think the story is going. It seems like they have some real interesting themes beyond just a dude chopping people in half with chainsaws, which I think that was the attraction that, for the cosplay, it's such an ill look. But there's actually more to it than that. Because that's what I thought it was. I thought it was like, hey, it's just to be this dude chopping things up.
Yeah.
But
I still want you to get into My Hero Academia.
I did. I watched the first, the first 15. Remember, because I love when my man buds out. I watched the first 15.
Well, there's more seasons. So
I know I can't. It's a long ass show, fam. I get it.
It's good.
I know, but it's one of the things where I didn't after watching 15 episodes, I was like, okay, this ain't going anywhere fast enough for me to be that good. You know what I mean? I watched 15 episodes.
It definitely goes. It's not complete stress and death like Titan, Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
I love Attack on Titan, but that is the most stressful anime I've ever. It was the most stressful thing I've ever watched in my thing I've ever watched.
Yeah, I'm good.
But it does. This is a build. My Hero is a build, but it's a worthy build because when you really allow yourself to get into it, you really see the emotion and the shit that's going on. And I understand what you're saying. That's why I won't watch One Piece and other stuff because I'm not watching 8,000 episodes. I'm not doing it, or Bleach or whatever. But it's just a good series. So maybe one day.
Dub Deuce said we mentioned Reservation Dogs Online.
Reservation Dogs, yeah. I think that was from 2021,
It's a fucking perfect show. No, it ended this year, and it's a fucking perfect show. They had the last season. Well, I'm not sure if this is the last season.
Well, I don't know. I thought because in the credits it says 2021 because I would have put that on my list, but it didn't say.
Oh, no, I know the last year.
It was this year. See, I told you I don't know what year it is. But Reservation Dogs, as Benhameen, I agree. Perfect.
It was renewed. I don't think it should have been.
You thought it was the way it ended was good enough, right?
So perfect.
Yeah,
it was so perfect. It's like one of them walk off into the sunshine. That's we did 2 perfect seasons of television.
Reservation Dogs is perfect TV.
Fuck.
It really is. I know you say there's no such thing, but no, there's such thing, and it's very, very rare. And Reservation Dogs is one of them.
That show broke my heart. It was so well done.
The story, the culture behind it, there's so much you learn, native culture and all this. I was I love that. I love that show.
Yeah, just beautiful. And I wanted to see those actors go on to do other things, but I'm happy it was renewed. And once again, like I say, I have faith. Even though I thought it was a perfect ending, I also thought Harley Quinn first 2 seasons was a perfect ending. And I've watched at the beginning of the 3rd season, and that's something else I'm gonna watch while I got some time coming up. But I've heard that the 3rd season is just as good, if not better than those first 2. So,
okay.
You know what I mean? Because I thought that was a perfect ending after those first 2. And then they got another season, and people are like, yo, no, this shit's still crack. And they got another season coming. So, yeah.
Let's
get into it.
Let's start wrapping up on this. But comic books. Definitely want to shout out Nubia and the Amazons by Steph Williams.
Hold on, we got that right here. Boom, boom, boom.
Look at that. That was one of my top. That was one of my top titles for this year. Also, shouts to the Blur Girl when it comes to Protectors of Wakanda. Another pick for this year. I don't know if Benhameen has it on him.
No.
I listen, the year of Black girl writers, okay? Like I've really like
shout out. I mean, I don't want to say Vita because Vita is,
Vita is non-binary, but yeah, but Vita is also Black, and Vita is Afro-Latino, so
Black,
Latinx, so yeah,
Black.
But yo, like Benhameen, I know you had some.
I had many. I want to shout out Vita because Vita wrote New Mutants this year, which was part of my favorite X-Men group of books because there's a lot of books out of the X-Men this year. But I do want to shout out a few of them. X-Men read by Al Ewing is one of my favorite comics of all time at this point. I've reread every issue of that several times this year, and I just think it's one of those perfect books. Immortal X-Men by Kieran Gillen is another very, very good one, and I really am just anticipating where they're taking that storyline in 2023. I think in 2023 he might get to, top X-Men Red, but right now X-Men Red was the top. And then on the low, because I just caught up with it, was Legion of X, another story that involves Nightcrawler and some other rando-ass mutants, but is super ill and some of the best artwork, but also just a very super ill story about faith and religion and spirituality and a lot of stuff that you really don't see in X-Men books all the time, but have always been a present factor in them, so I'm really glad to see that explored. I also want to shout out my man, Isaac Goodhart, friend of the show, who put out a couple books that were amongst my favorites this year. This is Constantine, Distorted Illusions, but he also was the artist on Victor and Nora, A Gotham Love Story, which was one of my favorite books of the year. It's about Mr. Freeze and Nora, his love as young lovers. They're like high school, college age lovers, and it was just such an ill story and book. And I think Isaac, he's a friend of mine. I've told him this and I talked about it before. He's grown into one of my favorite artists. Because when I first met him and we became cool, I liked his art, but I didn't he wasn't like my top dog. And now it's like, God damn, Isaac, you've been stepping your motherfucking game up. Yeah. And he has grown into one of my favorites. So those are a few of my favorite books this year, definitely.
Awesome. Yep. I also wanted to real quick just mention some music as well. Top song 2022, I Just Want to Rock by Uzi. That type of the energy, the crack that is in that song. I just
finally heard that the other day.
Okay,
that joint is he has no words in it,
and he don't need to, because the crack that's in that song, the energy behind it that's in that song, that shit is just goes. Shout out to Maya the Dawn, who came out of nowhere with Telfie. Well, really, that's TikTok because of that stuff. The Black Panther Wakanda Forever soundtrack. I don't know if y'all really sat there and listened to the soundtrack like that, and I kept applauding Wakanda Forever in general, but the fucking music, especially the music that incorporates Yucatan, the language, because as I was listening to the song, I'm like, they're not speaking Spanish, they're not speaking whatever other language I've ever heard. I'm like, they're speaking the local language of Kukulkan. So that shit went hard, and Ludwig Göransson, like all the work that went behind the sound, Thames, Rihanna, all that stuff was just so freaking perfect. Renaissance by Beyonce. I know y'all, where are the visuals? I ain't got it. I don't know what to tell you, but Renaissance is top. Anything from me personally, anything Amapiano genre. I love Amapiano. Just any fucking song that pops up, I'm fucking in there. So let me do that. And then also just shout out to the Black rappers and multi-hyphenate girls, Coi Leray, Doechii, Flo Milli, Shabo, Lola Brooke. I love them. I fucks with them, all that. And SZA SOS, that's my shit that I'm rocking right now. Someone says she has not grown a bit from the last album, and that is okay by me, because that shit bangs, and she's my favorite rapper at this point. So right now, she's my favorite rapper.
Wow, yeah, can't go that far.
I will. This is my friend. She was talking her shit.
I mean, she got some album. Cute little, but yeah, bars I can't call it. Yeah, no. Not when there's people like Black Thought out there. And Black Thought actually released a really good EP this year with an African artist that's pretty incredible. 3 joints on there. I love Nas's joint, Toby Anigwe. Anything else he dropped is always fire. He's actually on the Black Panther soundtrack as well. Oh, man. I listen to, my shit is so random. Like you said, I'm a piano. I listen to a lot of that. DB and Go-Go. What's the other dude? Cat's name? I mean, there's too many I honestly don't. I know like the few songs that I know by name, and I'm always playing so many different joints from there. But I listen to, especially like this year, I've been creating a lot of house music, so I've been listening to a lot of house music. So shout outs to Conway Casey, shout outs to Adam Rios and a bunch of other motherfucking producers. But Conway Casey has become one of my absolute favorite producers. Anything that man does is just beautiful, beautiful, good music. So shout outs to them. Shout outs to, man, I don't know. I listen to so much other stuff. I was listening to a joint today that Tim Hotep put me on to, and I can't remember the damn name of it. I just listen to a lot of music where I don't even know the names. Shout outs to me on twitch.tv/forallnerds. You know, I was on there playing a bunch of shit yesterday, and I'm always on here playing a bunch of stuff. So, you know, when it comes to music, I just hear what I hear, and I love funky and good stuff. So, Salt put out 5 albums this year on one day. I don't know if a lot of people realize that. Yeah, they dropped 5 albums on like November 1st, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they trying to get out their deal or something like that?
They have no deal. They have now put out 10 albums, I think, at this point in the last 3 years.
Damn.
It's just an incredible amount of music. One of those albums is, I think it's called God Is Love, but it's like a gospel album. It's fucking incredible. It is so good. I haven't even gotten through the rest of them because I kept jamming that one so hard. So that's one of my favorite albums of the year. So definitely check that out.
Okay.
And anybody else real quick before, or anything else you want to mention? Because I do want to shout out this one person, so I'm going to look them up real quick.
No, like there's going to be things that I forgot to mention that are still top of still top for 2022. But like this is a pretty good microcosm of everything I've been thinking about for this year.
Got it. Cities Avi. I'm not sure if you pronounce that name right, but the name of their album is Man Plays the Horn. And Tim Hotep, who was also on here for All Wakanda Forever, said that was his favorite album of the year. So I started listening to that joint yesterday, and it's quite ill so far. It is definitely super ill. Okay, another one I got to mention is Little Sims, because Little Sims now has 3 albums in a row that I think are absolutely incredible.
I love Little Sims.
Yes, I love Little Sims. Like 3 albums in a row. Oh, damn, Absol finally dropped a new joint. I got to hear that. Man, it's just so much music, so much good stuff to hear.
It's just
good TV,
so much content. It's so much content. And that's why, like, if we didn't mention it, don't get mad. Be like, well, y'all don't like this. No, it's just that we just didn't get a chance to get it out. It probably was fire. And then also, I'm sure there's something that everyone thought was really good. And I'm just like, it was all right. So,
right.
But
SZA. No, I think SZA. No, the thing is, I like SZA's. I like SZA's album. I think Damage is one of my favorite joints, you know, but I think that this one, I haven't heard that Damage like joint on here. I haven't heard it.
Okay.
I ain't got through everything yet either, though. You know, but I ain't heard that joint where I'm like, fuck, this is incredible.
So you haven't gotten through the whole album yet, but you're not feeling
what I heard so far. I was like, yeah, it was like, it's cool. You know what I mean?
Okay. Let's listen to the whole album first before we pass judgment.
But that's what I'm saying. You know, it's like you got to get me after like 10 tracks, shorty. Like, come on, man.
Well, still top for me, but
I love the one with Phoebe Bridgers. That's
cool.
Phoebe's voice is fucking
and I like how genre crossing she surprised me with some genre crossing records.
I like that Old Dirty Bastard record just to have ODB on there.
That was random. And I'm like, yo, like who else would have him on? So that was fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just general everything we talked about. Like I'm just really happy with the content of 2022 when it comes to creative expression, when it comes to, as we mentioned, music, film, TV, all that stuff. I'm really happy with what we have. Like it's just been some incredible work done out there. We have done some incredible work. So I also want to give us some shine as a 4L nerd, as a brand, as a unit, as a motherfucking record label. I just want to say that. I'm proud of us, and I'm proud of you, Benhameen, and I'm proud of the fam that y'all, you know, we have elevated this year. Shout out to everyone who has done their part, who helps to everyone who has had a hand in the elevation of 4L Nerds. Shout out to Portia P, the Grand Maester. Shout out to Chica. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to everyone who's helped us. Everyone who came and helped us and actually came through for Crown Wakanda. Shout out to everyone who is doing a damn thing when it comes to just building up the legacy of 4L Nerds. And I really appreciate that. And that's really my top of 2022, man, for real.
Yeah, for real. And next year will be our 10th anniversary. I realized the other day because the Reed is
Wow.
doing their 10th anniversary, and we started pretty much the same week as the Reed. So we are definitely going to have to organize some type of 10th anniversary show next year. We have a big thing coming up in October, like I told you before, October 19th in Washington, D.C. If you are around, you need to be in Washington, D.C. on October 19th because we are doing something. Oh my God. Like, oh my God. I can't even, like wowzers type level shit we're doing October 19th in DC 2023. And by then, my other big announcement that I've been hyping up all year I'm thinking we'll be out, like I think it'll be in people's hands by then. I'm still not 100% sure on that. I can't say, like I've said before, I wrote a comic book with me and my brother Mello Brown, author of Blade Runner. We put together a joint featuring an IP that when people hear,
this shit is crazy, and I cannot wait until the press tour.
It's so,
I cannot wait.
It's so weird to me because I don't know, I know when I say it, people are like, what the fuck? And then the people who I have told have been like, oh my God, that's crazy, and it's like, yeah, but it's such a, even though I did it, it's like when I was on American Gods. It's such a surreal experience that I still cannot believe it's happening or how big this could be or how far this could go because it's some wild shit. And like I said, it's a legendary artist and it's with an IP that does not get a lot of attention, but is one of the biggest things in Black history.
Big,
I can say that.
Yeah. I love the breadcrumbs you've been trying to leave for people
that
are far enough outside of the radius that you're not going to get in trouble. But yeah, man, he's not, that's not hyperbole. He's very, very much telling the truth.
Yeah. Like very much telling the truth. And the story that we have told, I'm so super proud of it. I feel like it's one of the best things I've ever written. And it just touches on a lot of things that I feel like never get touched on in comic books at all, or in a lot of things I've even got to read. So I'm just hoping that people, feel about it the same way I do. And I can't wait for people to see this shit. Because
facts, man, facts. All right. So I think that is it for our top picks of 2022 episode. Thank you to everybody who has listened, who has joined us in the Twitch chat. I see you. Thank you so much.
Shout out to Kina, Maze, Frosty Fleet, Quiet Storm, Born, Royal Martin. Who else up in here? Philip Winslow, Dub Deuce.
A lot of people up in there, man.
I think that's about it. Wait. I saw one other one. Oval Street.
Okay.
Yep.
We love everybody. Like really, and I say that with all gratitude and appreciations in my heart. We love you and love all of the love that you give us and the appreciations and the attention. Like because this is stuff that we live and breathe every day. So thank you. As Benhameen said, if this may in fact be the last episode of the year, I don't know, but I just want to make sure y'all understand how much we adore and appreciate you. And thank you for listening to us throughout this year. Thank you for arguing with us, respectfully. Thank you for agreeing with us, for disagreeing, for having the conversation, for joining us, for sharing, for letting people know that we have a voice. Mm-hmm. And that we are also trying to uplift other voices in this space, voices of color, voices of Black people. Like, this is what we do. So thank you so much. Make sure you are subscribed on everything. Just Google For All Nerds, okay? Because just in case this ends up on a platform where I can't say certain names of social media sites. Idiot. For All Nerds, just Google that. You will find everything you need about us there.
Yeah, word up. And like she said, thank you all. Thank you so much for the support. I can't even believe it's been 10 years. Sometimes I'll be like, damn, yo, I can't believe I'm doing this, podcast and shit. But then I know like the voices we touch, the people we touch, the things that we've accomplished because of this podcast.
The journey, bro.
Yeah. And then when I look at like we said at the beginning of the show, shout out to my brother Combat Jack. And then when I look at things like Deesa Samira or like Jalen and Jacoby, who were I think they were like 15. No, they were 10 years just now, or like Around the Horn, which just celebrated its 20th anniversary. And I'm like,
wow.
Well, F it. I want For All Nerds 20th anniversary. F it. Why not?
Let's keep it going.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
Yeah,
so,
man.
On that note, for everyone who is live right now, we're going to do a quick raid. My man, Mega Ran, is out there on these Twitch streets, so we're going to jump on over to him. For the rest of y'all, thank you for joining us this week, and we will be back very soon with more from the For All Nerds Show. Deuces, y'all. Thanks for joining us.